So author. Hey, fellow collectors, I'm Anthony with Anthony's Comic Book Art, and we're coming to you from the floor of Baltimore Comic-Con, and I'm here with Jay Ballman.
That's right.
Author, writer extraordinaire, and he has his books. We're looking at his books. He did a Steve Ditko feature, but this one, where's the one? Spider-Man on TV with Bob Lawrence. Remember Bob Lawrence, that gentle, handsome, older guy that used to come to the Big Apple Church basement shows and give you presents?
Yeah.
That was Bob Lawrence.
When I'm writing a book on the old cartoons, like a friend of mine has the archives for the 1966 Iron Man and Thor and Captain America cartoons. And it's funny because I say, hey, I'm writing a book. My next books are going to be on Iron Man cartoons from 1966. And they're like, Iron Man had a cartoon in 1966. Guess what? He did. So anyway, I did a book on Spider-Man. So I use the archives. Let me show you an example of what I do here. Mm-hmm. From the archives, we find out that the Spider-Man does whatever Spider can. Stan Lee changed the lyric. And it's handwritten and they stuck with the Stan
who wrote
Lee.
the music?
It's right there.
Music by Bob Harris. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's the original music with the handwritten corrections. Cool. Lawrence hired Stan Lee as a consultant. That's why he hired all those. When they decided to do the cartoons in the mid-'60s, all of a sudden they were hiring Gary Friedrich and Roy Thomas and Denny O'Neil, all these writers, because Stan was proofreading and editing these things. Here's some. I'm going to show you what I do for each episode here. Look, here's an episode. Some of these are original, and some of them are based on original. Like, see, it's an original story.
Original scripts?
Yeah, so I give a summary, 6 pictures, and then I make comments, and I talk about whether it's adapted from one of the comics or whether it's an original story. Mm-hmm. Then I have storyboard or screenplay things from the archives that people can look at and see what the behind-the-scenes production is. I'll show you my favorite page of this book is this. Look, check this out.
I have a question, a very pertinent question that only I would be able to ask.
See, these are things, but I'll show you, see these, like the layout of his room for the animators is different, like mildews.
Okay, so I've been around since the mid-'90s when Bob Lawrence was still around, and he would come in and sell me cells and ashtrays and stuff, all this stuff from the Lawrence Gantry productions. So I've had cells, but a lot of them were swipes and pan and scans and stuff like that. But the only one of these cartoons that I've actually had original art from was Namor. Mm-hmm. They did original cell drawings for Namor. Do you know why?
Yes, I know why. It's because at that time there were only a few Submariner stories because he got his series in Tales of Cyrus number 70, and there were only a few issues. They're like, wait a minute, we got to make 13 episodes, or 39 episodes here, which is 13 times 3, there are 3-parters. I know my math, just making sure that you know that I know.
So they were short on original material.
Yeah, so they had to make their own, exactly. That's the reason.
And that was made in a company in Canada, right?
The voice actors were in Canada.
No, the actual art. The actual art.
The art, to my knowledge, was done at a California studio.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. But anyway, this is my favorite page from the Spider-Man book. It's like, see, all the villains. You can see some of them, like Doc Ock, he's from the comics. But there's these other ones, like this guy, like, look, Dr. Magneto. Well, we know there's a Magneto, but not a Dr. Magneto. Mm-hmm. So you can see this, like, Cliven.
Yeah, they would bastardize some of the to make them more TV palatable, they would think.
All right,
this is my
book.
favorite.
Actually, this is my best-selling book so far. But this is the book that put me on the map.
Better than this?
Well, I'm not saying it's better, but I'm saying this is one that sells the most.
See, this is all stuff I collect.
Okay.
In my office, my defunct office of all those boxes is full of this stuff that's in this book.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't use it anymore. So that's why I wanted to talk to you.
So this book chronicles every single piece of Marvel merchandise, every single poster, every single fan club item, all of that. And this
being one of the quintessential pieces of MMS, Mary Marvel Marching Society memorabilia ever.
Now, what this is from, Marvel's first merchandise was a 1963 Ben Cooper Halloween costume.
The Spider-Man.
That's in 1963. Then 1964, they introduced what's called the Mary Marvel Marching Society. Now, they printed up 1,000 kits. I interviewed Flo Steinberg extensively because she was in charge of it. They'd send her to the Dollar. She had to send the kits out. It was so successful they did a second printing of everything, the stickers, the buttons, and all this. And then the next piece of merchandise in 1965 was a set of 12 T-shirts, which are so rare that in 30 years of collecting, I only got 9 of the 12. Okay?
What are you missing? I have them.
Well, I gave up collecting and I'm downsizing. So
You know
the
what
ones,
I have?
the ones
Can I
those
tell you what I have?
Sure, of course you can.
I have
What is it? You
the
say no?
rarest one. What's
Western.
the rarest one?
Western.
Yeah, I have that one.
Which
but
one?
what's rarer than the Western?
I think.
The thing sweatshirt
Yeah.
in an adult size.
Okay. Yeah.
I have one complete and mint.
Yes. I was thinking of the T-shirts when I saw.
Yeah, but
just
the
you're right,
sweatshirts
you're
were
right.
ordered even less.
Yeah.
Because they were like $2 and the T-shirts were like what 89
Yeah.
cents or something.
See, we're both into this stuff,
Yes,
and you're like,
very
what are
much.
they talking about?
No, I
This
know.
geek talk. But you know
But
what?
this
No.
is the first
All right,
thing.
all right, yeah, so let me explain what this is. So in so they did the T-shirts and the 2 sweatshirts. Now the sweatshirts actually came out in '66. I'm up only up to 1965. So the fourth piece of Marvel merchandising was the stationery kit. This was a 50-sheet notepad. To this day, it's so rare. It's so rare that only one pad that has all 50 sheets exists. Only one. Now this is what it looked like. That guy's ruining our video.
That's all right.
Put it on pause.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. There's a stationary kit, the folder, and there's the pad, and there's a better picture, and it's 50 pages. That's the 50th page.
Right.
For your order form.
So
Wow.
I've had these, and I've had these for years and years and years. And before I was even a comic dealer, like 15 years ago, before I got really serious, I was doing signings with Stan Lee. So I would take a pad from the stationery kit and just have him sign the stationery kit. So I get 50 signatures.
So this guy's why we don't have all these full pads now.
No,
I love
but
this
it's
guy,
true.
man.
But it's true. Well, I
Do you want to show him
that.
anything else on that?
No, we covered a
all
lot
right.
of things.
Yeah, well, let me just make a clarification. I don't like to take credit for this book because there's a community of about maybe 15, 20 collectors that I'm friends with, and we talk all the time. One of them just opened a museum in Indiana, and I'll plug it because it's a charitable museum, and it goes to encouraging kids to read, and by creating comic books and reading comic books, because comic books are a gateway. Let me do a little spiel here. Bear with me.
What about
Albert,
me? I thought you were going to talk
I'm
about
going
me.
to do that, but I want to say something very important because this is the future of the hobby. Albert Einstein once said that imagination is more important than knowledge. And it took me a lifetime to figure out what he said because he's so freaking smart. But what that means is this: I picked up a Marvel comic book and expanded my horizons about life. There were lessons there. There were you think about the universe and
Yeah, exactly, the
and all
universe.
this. So then from there, I read The Invisible Man in Supernatural Thrillers #2, and what happened is I went and I got the book from H.G. Wells. Then I read The Time Machine. Then I read War of the Worlds. Then I was reading, Arthur C. Clarke, Isaac Asimov, and then they're doing adaptations of Poe. Poe led me to poetry and to Shakespeare and to classic literature. So I ended up being just like an English person and a writer. So comic books, I've written 17 books now, and comic books. I always wanted to be a writer. So I'm writing about comics. So I'm living my dream. So if I seem like I'm smiling, I am because I'm a happy person. And another reason I'm happy is because the reason I'm doing this video is because this guy is a killer retailer, and I've done probably 150 transactions over the years, which is a lot on eBay. Every time, well packed, exactly described, fairly priced, always deliver promptly. I mean, it's like there's maybe 5 people on eBay that have a level, which is perfection. Out of 100, he gets 100. There's people at 98, 96, but there's a few people that really reach perfection, and they're never professional dealers. They're individual collectors that that take care of you like they know you. So I'm just saying.
I have 250,000 transactions on eBay with 100% feedback, so we try hard, and I have a whole a full staff to accomplish that.
And he understands that customer service is everything. Now, I never had a problem, but if I did have a problem, I know that I could You know, because it says who packed the thing. So if I called up and say, hey, you know, what the heck's going on? Is this guy John or whatever? You know. But I never had to do that, obviously. But other people are just like, you know, screw you. You know, but I mean, I keep coming back if I see something. Sometimes I maybe want something, maybe don't. But if I see he's selling it, then I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to go to Spring for it because I know I'm not going to have to deal with, a whole roll of packing tape and a couple of knives and stuff, you know, to open it up, and it's not going to come run over by a car with a big footprint on it or something, you know, and cat hair stuck to the tape.
Well, so that's
and
my
other kind of
business
hairs
model.
too
I
that
try
I'm not
to
going to get
make
into.
customers and keep them. Because I started in the
that's what I'm
restaurant
saying,
business. I was a chef and was going to open my own place, and I opened 5 places for other people. And the restaurant business is about getting people in and making sure they come back. So I have that application to this business, which very few people do. And that's my business model.
Yeah, and if you don't treat people right, they're not coming back, you know? So Anthony, I'm saying if anybody ever has any doubt about, you know, buying from Anthony's, and I'm not getting paid to say this, I'm just speaking, I'm just telling you because I care about other fellow collectors, and I would not be standing at Dorsey if he did not deliver. I'll say one other thing. Do you want to talk about another book? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and then I'll stop.
Here.
Wait till after it's done. So here's a book, Steve Ditko in the 1960s. And this has every article and every piece of fan art done by Steve Ditko, the co-creator of Spider-Man, ever written. There's like probably, that's like 75, I don't even know, articles, interviews, pictures, fan art. It took me like this. I'm going to tell you the story about the cover. This cover is from a fanzine called Crime Stopper Monthly. Maybe 25, 30 copies were printed back in the mid-1960s. So this kid had a correspondence going. His name was Ken Landgraf. He became a martial artist. And he did a fanzine. When this fanzine appeared about 10 years ago on eBay, everybody said, what the heck, or some other descriptive word, is this? So I bid $5,000 on this. I won it for $1,500, and it looks like it's all worn out and faded. This is what it looked like.
And what year did it come out?
1965. Now in this.
And then what year did Steve stop talking to people?
He went to this 1964 convention, and what happened was a guy called Fred Landsman, who later on designed the electrical system of the International Space Station. So Wortham was wrong about him growing up to be a criminal, right? What'd you say?
What time?
Yes, it's
I didn't hear.
No. Oh, anyway.
So what was it?
No, I was saying a kid at the 1964 comic convention named Fred Landesman designed the International Space Station, but he also interviewed Steve Ditko at the 1964 comic convention. So it has his interview in here. It has all the interviews that Steve Ditko did in the 1960s. And it has a whole chapter about the guy that did the very first interview with him, and who also organized the first comic convention, which is the only place Steve Ditko ever went, the only comic convention he ever went to.
The first Mighty World of Marvel Con, right? What was it called?
It was called the 1964 New York Comic Con.
Oh, just New York, not the Mighty World one?
No,
not the Marvel one? The Marvel Con?
No, that was in 1975, 11 years
Oh,
later.
wow,
Yeah.
that was later, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so one other thing I want to say. I want to give you an example of like what these articles are. Everything here was written in the 1960s or was printed in the 1960s. Nothing from 1979. This is about him during his prime doing Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. So there's this one review from this guy in the Rocket Splash comic book. So this Amazing Fantasy 15 comes out, right? And this guy says, hey, there's this new character called Spider-Man in the latest Amazing Fantasy 15. Has anybody seen that? I didn't think too much of it. I don't think he's going anywhere. Now, I mean, it's just crazy because we all know that he went somewhere. But that's where it started out. Anything you want to say, Anthony? I'm done.
About Spider-Man?
About anything. About anything.
No, this is great because there's only so much you're going to get out of Steve because Steve didn't put a lot out there. And
But he did in the 60s, and that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, look, see,
a very narrow window.
But it was, yeah. See, he did this, like, he drew that for Len Wein for Aurora number 5. Drew it for free, didn't ask for anything. Drew this for Ken Landgraf, encouraged him enough as a kid that he went on to be a professional comic artist.
Yeah, I buy stuff from Ken. He's in my area.
Yeah. There's 3 letters he wrote to Ken in here. And
it turned out that Ken actually did the first solo story of Wolverine for a foreign book. They gave him credit for it. The first solo Wolverine.
But check this out. Say this is a review of the new Spider-Man character from 1962.
I actually have some letters from Steve Ditko in this case that I bought from somebody today.
Anyway, I'm done.
Wow.
I've been talking all
Well,
weekend.
thank you for your time, and
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for being a great
Appreciate
dealer
it.
and
Yeah.
hooking me up with so much great stuff. Do you want these? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing books.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm Anthony with Anthony's Comic Book Art here with Mr. Ballman. Where is it? And his books. These character and Marvel related books that we love, and I'm going to purchase from him and take them home and enjoy them. And especially this one. This is my
Yay.
favorite.
I gotta get some sleep, so I'm gonna head out
Me too.
before I put you all to sleep. Hey, if you have trouble sleeping tonight, just watch this video. I guarantee it's all this boring.
Oh, I get a lot of engagement. So
That's
thank
great.
you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.